and Google
Riel.
Riel.
Come on, give me your best French.
Bonjour, comment ça va? Ça va bien? Hey?
Comme ci, comme ça.
Comme c'est comme ça?
Yeah.
Je ne parle pas français trop.
Je parlais un peu français.
Un petit peu.
Un petit peu.
Oui.
Yeah.
Moi aussi.
I understand the smack talk, though. Let's be clear about that. Don't be talking shit behind my back.
Shit about us.
The best thing I remember, here I go into the memory banks. The best thing I remember, it was the funniest thing. I think my mom and my dad, they were separated about that time, and it was Easter. So for whatever reason, my grandparents, my mom, and me, we went to like Smitty's or Perkins or something for Easter. I don't know, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Or Mother's Day or something, right? And we're standing there, and my grandmother has a really weird look about her. And then I realized the people behind us are talking in German, and she's eavesdropping.
She's listening to
yeah. And then she's kind of like laughing a little bit, like kind of like, you know, like, oh. Yeah. So it was like a couple a little younger than them, and they had like a son, and I guess they had the son, I mean, not as old as my mom, but like, you know, not a teenager, but like, you know, a real slacker, and he's just like dressed like shit, right?
Right.
So she's like berating him in front of everybody, like, we're going out for supper. You think you could at least put on a clean shirt? Look at you. I'm out in public with you.
Yeah, I'm so embarrassed.
She was just like totally ripping him up and down, right?
Right.
So my grandmother was like, tee hee hee, and she understood the whole thing.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool when you have that.
I wish I knew every language in the world.
Nice?
Oh, I think that'd be so cool. I love it.
They have those, I think it's on your cell phone or the hearing aid or something you put in your ear, and it can translate whatever language is being spoken, eh?
Oh, that's so neat.
So when you go, if you ever go for a pedicure, and those girls that talk shit about when they do your toes and stuff. Oh, look at this lady.
Yeah, I know.
Long nails. Oh,
long nails.
She got hairy knuckles on her toes.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Smell.
Yeah. Oh, this person, she don't shave her legs. She probably don't have sex.
Yeah.
Why she no shave her legs?
Why she don't shave her legs? Because I can't reach. Okay.
I don't want to touch her.
I know.
Well, you know, I'm gonna have to record that out, because right away my kids will be like, "That's racist."
I know, but it's funny though.
But it's true.
But it is totally true. I know
it's true. But you know, I love all languages. I love impersonating, and like I like the Irish, the
Isn't
Scottish.
that terrible?
But I love doing that.
So do I.
Yeah.
Isn't that terrible though? I mean, people take that as a negative connotation now, but really it's just so much.
I love the way it rolls off your tongue, and like just kind of like, you know,
when I used to work with a bunch of French women, I would find the longer I worked with them, the more I started sounding like I was trying to have a French accent.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. It's like you're syncing with them almost.
You pick up the little twangs and little slangs and little whatever, right?
Yeah.
But, I'd be like.
Well, just like this lady I used to carpool with not that long ago. I think she retired. No, she went to another department, but she lived in my area. So I says, yeah, Suzette, I'll give you rides.
Yeah.
So she was born in, there was that island off of Hong Kong, and it's like by India. Like it's a non-dominant, like it's, I don't know who, it's a country in its own, and it's an island. I can't remember what it's called. It's got a cool name. She lived there, and then she moved with her husband to Hong Kong. They raised their girls for a bit, but then they moved to Canada, and then she lived in Quebec for about 20 years.
Oh my
before
God,
she
she was
came
a
to
Hong
Winnipeg.
Kongese in Quebec.
Yeah, so she kind of talked like this, but then when she talked her sentences, it rolled at the end.
Oh, really? That's funny.
She talked like this. She had very nice accent, but then when she talked to me, she says, Jasmine. It just rolled, and I loved. And she would tell me all these stories, and they were such awesome stories. And I'm like, I just felt so enriched by, you know, learning how her life and just they, you know, and then just listening to her talk. And she had like that very definite
musical
Hong Kong accent, but with the French roll at the end.
The French roll with Hong Kong.
You know? Yeah.
I like that though, but people's accents I find like musical.
I know. And I can't do her accent anymore. It's too bad, because I haven't seen her for a couple of years, you know?
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. Suzette. I think she's still around though, but anyway. So yeah, that was very cool.
That's really cool. I love that.
So we started off talking about French stuff, because we're going to discuss the haunted Louis Riel house, or Riel house on River Road.
River Road.
Oh, wait a second. Wait. This is Jas.
And Sher.
Hi.
How's it going?
Hi.
Pretty good?
How are you?
Yeah.
What?
Awesome.
Yeah. What?
Excellent. Cheers.
Cheers. Saturday night. Woo. Saturday nights are right for podcasting. Woo.
That Borja.
We's backs. Brost. So We're a little zany. We're a little crazy. We love ghosts. We like swearing.
Swearing?
Swearing.
That is the Ukrainian swear word.
It's better than sweating.
Swearing.
Better than sweating.
Sweating and swearing.
We like swearing, drinking, and talking about ghosts. And that's right. I had a girl ask me today. She saw my mask and she's like, "Giving Up the Ghost podcast. What's that?" And in a nice way, a young girl. Yeah. And I said, "Oh, we have a local podcast called Giving Up the Ghost, and we're two old broads, and we like to drink, swear, and talk about ghosts and paranormal stuff in Winnipeg and Manitoba."
Cool.
She's like, "Oh."
Yeah.
I don't think she was expecting that.
Oh, you know, I don't think lots of people expect it.
Nice little retail girl. She's like, "Okay,
okay, thank you very much.
Have a nice day. I asked too much."
Yeah, I know.
Yes,
that's okay.
That's okay. So
people love us or they don't.
You know what? They really,
and the same in real life.
People really, really like us, and the other people, I don't really hear from them, and that's okay.
That's okay. I think they're scared of us.
We're not there for them.
No.
So
I scare people in normal life too. So
exactly. Huh. If you don't scare at least one person a day, you're not doing something right.
Your life is fucking boring.
I know. Life's an adventure.
I know.
Yeah. So we're here. We want to talk about some ghost stories, and tonight we're actually featuring a local location in St. Vital. And not old St. Vital, because you got to imagine, right? Back in those days, back in the mid 1800s, like that was farmland. That wasn't even in the city.
Oh,
like
crap.
River Road, that was just like probably half a day's travel to get to city center, right? By cart and oxen and stuff.
Yeah.
It's actually the homestead, so it wasn't technically Louis Riel's home, but it was where he grew up. So his mom Julia owned this house. So we're going to tell you a little bit about this, some backstories.
Backstory.
Yes. So,
excusez-moi.
Do you want to read the first paragraph?
Okay, I certainly can. I'm looking right away to see if you gave me one of the ones with the shitty words in it.
And I just to clarify though too, like many people who listen to us locally know the story of Louis Riel, so we're probably telling you nothing you don't already know. However, we are listened to all over the place, so
so you never know.
We're going to be some education here.
Australia,
little history on our province. Yes.
There we go. Mm-hmm. Okay, it says Louis Riel was a Canadian politician who fought for the rights and freedoms of the Metis and founded Manitoba. He led the Red River Rebellion, then was forced to flee to the States after the execution of a protester. Ew, Thomas Scott.
Oh, I did not know.
I didn't know about Thomas Scott one.
No.
Oh, okay. He came back to represent the Métis, this time in what was now Saskatchewan. The demonstration turned into the Northwest Rebellion when the military was called in. He was arrested, charged with treason, and hanged in 1885.
I think that was in Batoche. I think that was the...
Is that where it was? It's like, every time I read about stuff like this when they charge him with treason, and yet we still praise him for fighting for Métis. I mean, like, people get shafted, right?
Oh, totally. Yes.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. It said he was revered as a hero and is known as the father of Manitoba, father of Confederation, and, depending on who you talk to, a traitor. Mm-hmm. Like, that's it. People get shafted. People do what they do.
Yeah.
The effects of his execution is still going on to this day. His education, no. With dispute between Quebec and the rest of Canada due to his heavy influence in the Francophone community. Did he really have a really big influence in Francophone community? I don't know. I don't know very much about the Francophone community as a whole when it comes to... Is it? Yeah?
I could see that, right?
I understand that because, I mean, way back when in the day, I mean, it was like, it was
the
like
shit.
Quebec and English, right?
Yeah,
like very, very strictly
But I know
separated.
now, but I think it was closer back then because nowadays Quebec people don't even acknowledge Francophone in any of the parts of the Canada. Mm-hmm. Really, they don't, from what I hear. But at the same token, people from France, they totally diss Quebec, eh?
Yeah, I know. It is weird. It's an odd thing. Like, if your ancestors have moved somewhere, it's a
You're
weird...
not considered to be of the same cloth.
I know. I don't know how come that is, though.
Yeah, just
it's very, very strange, but...
For sure. I'll let you continue because there's parts I don't think I gave to you that I'll do after.
He didn't actually grow up in a Riel house, but the house was owned by his mother, Julie Riel, in 1865. After Louis Riel was executed, he was placed in the living room for a few days. Oh, I don't like that.
But that's what they do.
I know.
No funeral homes.
I don't like it. I know. Nothing beats the fresh scent of rotting corpse as they put like little flowers and potpourri around.
Well, I think that's the whole meaning of why there's flowers at funerals, right?
Yeah, just to freshen the scent.
Fresh as the daisy.
Would they have washed and everything at that time? Or is that only limited to some cultures?
Hard to say.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you have a
I
viewing,
think they would.
and they would have done the whole wash. And
Oh no, probably not of the corpse. No, not
no,
in
you
those
don't think
days.
so?
I don't think so.
I
No.
don't know. I mean, some cultures do though.
Yeah.
So I
You
don't
know,
know.
my friend's daughter is actually now a certified
Mortician.
funeral director, mortician. She actually prepares bodies and stuff. Her name is Brittany. I've known her since she was like 2. I went to her graduation recently via Zoom.
Oh, okay.
So we should have her on. I'm sure she's got a few stories.
Ew.
Yeah, and maybe she can tell us. Maybe she knows.
I don't know. I
what the
mean,
process
culturally
was.
speaking, I know like I know every different culture has sort of different things that they do.
Yeah, yeah.
I just don't know about like Francophonian stuff at that time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'll post a picture on Facebook actually. For her graduation, there was some snackies and stuff. It was just at her mom's house, my friend, Ange. And the funny part about it was I don't know I think somebody sent it to her. She had a macaroon shaped like a coffin as a gift. Like,
Cool.
a macaroon, those little round, pretty
but
cook.
it was like a
Yeah,
nice-
no, it was a coffin.
a beautiful crunchy
It was-
coffin.
yeah. Who'd want to eat that? For a lot of reasons,
Yeah, well,
It's cute,
stuffed with
quaint,
goodness.
quirky. Yeah. Stuffed with something.
Stuffed with goodness.
Crunch, crunch.
Crunch, crunch. It says in May of 1886, Louis Riel's wife, Marguerite, died prematurely in the house. Oh,
That's sad.
it is. The house stayed in the Riel family until 1968 or 69. Then it was turned over to the Historical Society in Parks Canada, where they restored the house to its 1886 glory. Interesting. 1969, that's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a very
Summer
long
of
time.
love, man.
It's the summer of love. It's a great year.
That's
That
a fabulous year.
1969.
Best year ever.
It is. It produced the best people.
The most
Gorgeous.
beautiful, smartest,
Wonderful Libras.
just beautiful personalities, and you want to be their friend. You really want to be their friend.
That's
Anyway,
right.
Yeah,
I
sure.
must say
You trust them, and you give them lots of cash.
That's right.
Yeah.
Always. And forever.
Make it rain. All right. You can continue on.
Continue on.
Yeah, there's a big chunk on the bottom.
A big chunk on the bottom? Okay. It says at the time when Google Maps was doing its rounds, the house was still in operation. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
You can go right into the lot, up to the house, and take a look-see right inside.
Through Google. That's pretty cool.
Really?
We'll have to check that out. Maybe check that out if you can.
Yeah, no shit. I didn't know you'd get that way.
Mm-hmm.
All the way through, there was never any public access to the upstairs due to structural issues. Yeah, lots of places
sure.
are tagged off. The house has been known to have had a resident spirit of one of the Riels who died there. You can see that they would have reenactments, staff dress in period costumes, would go about activities and chores that the Riels would have done back in the 1800s, well, the 1880s.
Yeah.
I used to live close by there, not me personally, but whoever was writing this. Our school would take us on a field trip to the Riels. Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
School field trips are so freaking boring now
I know.
compared to like what they were
I
at one
know.
time, eh?
Yeah.
So you could just drop by for a free look around, and they started requiring, and then they started requiring a fee. Well,
course.
everything needs
Well,
a fee.
But they have to maintain
You have
it
to
and
upkeep
stuff.
it, yeah.
For sure.
It says during the recession, funding was drastically reduced to Parks Canada, and Riel House was forced to close.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
So I guess this person who was doing the Google Maps, right?
Yeah.
They said that they were panning along the front of the house and they noticed a light coming from one of the windows, and that isn't there in any of the other spots that the person
No.
checked that out. So
And they were on Google Maps.
that was Google Maps, yeah. So when they were
Ew.
able to go inside with Google Maps,
They're
said,
like, there's no light
No
sources
lights, that's
available
right.
here.
yeah. And then they said that they had noticed the bedrooms were open but blocked, so no public could actually access that, I guess. But the thing is, this person had said, though, too, that this was during the daytime. So it was bright inside, and there really shouldn't be any reason for any oil lamp to be lit.
And it looks like an oil lamp, they said.
Yeah. Funny, hey?
That is. Someone's walking around.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Marguerite. Maybe she's lost.
Maybe. But I mean, like, okay, so let's go, let's think back. Let's mentally prepare ourselves. And it's like 1840, 1850, 1860,
Yeah.
right? So people come, people go. Infancy, people die in their infancy.
Oh.
So I mean,
Often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are only the two deceased people that we know of being in the house, meaning Louis Riel's body was there
And
for a
it was
few
his
days.
mom's. It was his mom's home.
His mom's home.
To boot, she could have had
His
who
father
knows?
could have died there. We don't
She could have
know.
had miscarriages,
Siblings, infants.
stillbirths, whatever.
Sure. Well, we know he had one sister that was the nun, which was Sarah Riel.
Right.
So
But
I mean, aside from that, they could have had cousins. She could have had her elderly parents she cared for. Maybe
shit,
they
yeah.
passed there. So
everyone.
yeah.
I mean, everyone lived together, right? I mean, it was.
I mean, in some weird quasi goth kind of romanticizing love story, oh, Louis Riel's soul is still there. Okay, sure, maybe, possibly. But I mean, like, it could be anything, like anything.
Oh, yeah.
Right on the banks of the Red River, the water, we know about water, bringing
Always
transient
shit,
shit and energy, you know,
Yeah.
you just don't know. Anyway, but like the part I've got here, Riel, the Riel house was built and it was owned by the Riel family.
It's like 1800s. I mean, that's.
Yeah. I did get something from WordPress, and it was by a Clarence Mitchon, and I don't think he lives here. He was visiting for a while, and he goes into this big, long. It's a WordPress story, so people get a little colorful
winded.
with their winded. 4 pages later, but he goes, "My true Manitoba ghost story," and it's called Louis Riel related. So he's talking about how he moved in. He had no furniture. It said he had assistance from a girlfriend that set him up before she went off to California for work, and all his stuff was in storage in Ottawa. So I guess he was here for work. And he says his plan was to, as it was so many times, to seek out furniture through garage sales. And that's how his garage sale or his ghost adventure begins. So he says how he went... says he had a 4th floor apartment. Actually, it was downtown, I believe his... so he was on Assiniboine Avenue and Edmonton Street, and that alone is pretty haunted and old, too.
That's right,
so,
He could have brought something with him.
He could have, or something could have... Like, I'm not going to read the whole thing because he's talking about how he made breakfast and poached eggs and his toast, and then he scattered through the newspapers. Like, this guy's very, he likes probably to talk and write, as we do all, but this is Giving Up the Ghost with Sher and Jas, so we won't...
We're not talking about, poached eggs and ham.
So anyway, he's talking about how he set up his day, going through the paper and trying to find advertisements, I guess, for estate sales and garage sales and stuff. And they're like, yeah, okay. He says to his girlfriend, let's go there. Okay, it's near you at Wolseley and Arlington. We'll go to the Osborne Village area. It was a beautiful sun-filled day and morning. A glorious day to go antiquing. Yes. Not making fun of you, Clarence. No. I'm just saying, right? So because they weren't too familiar with Winnipeg, they had like a map ready, and then they head off to Home Street and Portage. Like they were everywhere, so
Jesus.
They picked up knickknacks and decorative stuff and books and all that kind of good stuff.
And a bunch of estate sales. They could be bringing everything home with them. Jesus.
Just asking for it.
Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like we talked about haunted possessions before, and actually on an upcoming interview that we had, or that I had on a ghouls night out with Colleen and Doris, who we've had on the show before. Her mom talks about like haunted possessions and stuff. She goes, "Have you done a show on that?"
Picking up shit all over the place.
Yeah, and then I pointed at Doris and I says, "Do not collect anything from houses. Do not bring back stuff from cemeteries," because Doris had done that when she was a young, foolish
cemeteries
girl. Well, yeah, anywhere. Don't pick shit up and bring it back.
But don't pick up shit up from cemeteries, though, for sure.
No. But like, because remember,
I know,
she,
I know, yeah.
Okay, anyway. So they haggled over prices and they got their hands slapped because, going back to Clarence's story, because, no early birds at the estate sales and all that kind of stuff. So they had to wait around and hang out and blah, blah, blah. And anyway, so listening to tunes, they waited for a garage sale to open up. It says here that they joined this march of much anticipated parade that went into this house. The house was very old, Victorian looking, with large elm trees. I want to say Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
It just kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
Elm tree in front of the house. It said it looked like a haunted house that was depicted in scary movies. And it said despite everyone being of the same mindset, they were looking to find the most excellent finds. The doors opened. The greeter acknowledged everybody. Upon arrival, they went in. There was so much stuff. Clarence says there was a lot of stuff that was too big and a lot of solid, hefty stuff to go to a 4th floor apartment. Agreed, right? And then he says, "I'm no ghost whisperer, but I do think I possessed a ghost radar." and the radar was registering. So he says, as he do.
Yeah, no, don't buy that.
Or,
no, don't buy that.
Yeah. Don't touch me.
Yeah.
It's a bad sign. It says he shuffled about and then suddenly alerted by others the place at the patio area was open for grabs too. So, there was good prospects. And it says, him and his girlfriend were excited. They nodded approvingly. They expected. They hauled out aloud. We were all thinking to ourselves, oh, great, wicker. There was wicker, yin-yang, baskets, blah, blah, blah. And then says, this is great. I wonder what they want. So he paused and big dramatic announced and said, I don't care. Just, that's fine. They haggled and they got stuff for $30, the garage sale. So now this was the aftermath. So I'm not too sure how we're going about the whole Louis Riel sale thing. There's no mention of Louis. Oh, here we go. So I'm probably going to read this stuff a little bit more clearly because now he gets into it. He says, with that, they made a few more journeys back and forth with the freight elevator. They loaded to their car to the apartment. And then finally they relaxed. They looked over their stuff. They had crullers and tea. How lovely. Sorry, again, not making fun of you. No. They settled into their big new wicker comfy chairs that they secured at the estate sale. And all the while, his girlfriend was talking of some of the folks they'd met at the garage sales and made an observation on how everybody in Winnipeg did indeed seem friendly as it promotes the Manitoba car license plate. And then he agreed. He says, there's a lot of history in this province too, he announced. He said, he goes, but I think I'll like it here, he tells his girlfriend, because she had to go off to work and stuff. So she proclaimed as she continued to wash the dishes. And then the conversation fell silent for a spell. But this time, he said, he sunk deeply into the new acquired wicker chair. As mentioned before, being a history buff, he said he chose to select a history book that he had picked up and started to engage into a reading about the rise and fall of the great early political leader, Louis Riel, the Metis leader. And then he says, I thought, I'm in Manitoba and I best learn of the history of the province in my new home. And I just opened the book and was glancing through chapters. As he was flipping through and stopped to read something that he found intriguing about Louis Riel, he says, I got that feeling, that one where someone's reading over your shoulder. I thought, well,
I like that feeling.
Yeah. And then he thought, well, maybe it's my girlfriend, Jackie. And then, so he didn't bother to turn and look. And then right then, however, he said he heard a voice that asked of him, where did you get that? Oh. Yikes. I exclaimed in my thoughts. To me, that's not Jackie's voice. No. To me, it seemed more like a young girl, maybe 12 or so. Oh. The voice, I might add, felt only a couple inches away from my ear, so it was most definitely distinct that it could be. Also being that close, there should have been breath felt. Ooh. And he thought for a moment, nothing. So at that point, he looked over his shoulder, and there was no one there. No young girl, no Jackie. So now he glanced to where Jackie was standing at the sink, and precisely the same moment, I looked towards Jackie, and Jackie looked toward me. In unison, we asked each other, you heard that too, right? Yeah.
That's creepy.
So that wasn't necessarily a Louis Riel story. Just coincidentally, a ghost girl was interested in the Louis Riel book that he was reading. So
yeah, but who could have? That could have been anyone. Cool.
Kind of remind me of the Austin story, right?
No, I don't like that.
Nope.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
That was pretty freaking cool. And then he says, I still get chills every time I tell or write this story. I just did again. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. Yeah. There's no explanation to this day. We tried to rationalize. The walls were thick bricks and soundproof. We were 4 stories above the sidewalk. Kind of like when we were explaining how we heard the voice at the veranda. Well, we didn't hear it, but we recorded the voice. Go back to our episode of the Dolvnort where we heard... Is your cat?
Yeah. Oh. I'm going to let her out.
Yeah, let her out.
I know, but it means like...
Yeah. I wonder if his apartment building was made out of limestone. Or facade. So he says, thanks for the memories, Manitoba.
Yeah. No.
So that was that part. And then I did get some more historical information from the Louis Riel house itself. I'm just going to try and find some information that maybe you have not already read of. All right. So the restored home also has volunteer staff, and they do report, or they have reported seeing indentations in the bed, like somebody's sitting or laying in the bed. So, and even though, like we said previously, even though none of the oil lamps are ever lit in the house, it has been recorded that volunteers have also seen light coming sometimes from the main floor bedrooms, like after everything has been like shut off and locked for the night.
Ew.
Ooh.
Butt prints in the bed. Butt prints in the bed.
Naked ghost butt prints.
Naked butt prints.
So it's funny here. What I found, okay, so we know that his wife, Marguerite, died in the house
Yeah.
prematurely. And then
It doesn't say. She never discloses what it was from.
No, never was. And at the same time, we know that, apparently Louis Riel's mother's maiden name was Lajamodier. That's cool.
Oh, wow.
Did not know that.
Did not know that either.
And it says he grew up there in the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said he had 2 children. I thought he had no children, or did they die in infancy, or did they die young?
I don't know.
I thought he had no descendants. That's what I had heard, right? Because his sister Sarah was a nun. So,
Right.
Hey,
Jesus.
you want to purr into the mic? Aww. Kisses to the mic. Hi,
Oh.
BBs.
Okay, move your
Oh,
butt.
and she's like, oh, there's food.
Yeah.
Don't mind if I do.
Nope.
All right. So in any event, it's kind of cool. They go on to explain, like what you read earlier about he was hung, right?
Yeah.
But apparently, when he laid in viewing in his mom's house for like 3 days, apparently they said there were thousands of Métis men, women, and children that came to pay their last respects. Thousands that came through the house. Can you imagine that lined up along River Road?
No.
That must have been crazy. Yeah.
It must have been a sight to see, eh?
It must have been something
Like,
for
holy
sure.
shit.
And then they said before carrying him out the door, and then 10 miles north to the Basilica and St. Boniface is where he was laid to rest, which is what we know.
Wow.
So it said here, the 1.5-story house is almost all the Métis houses in the Red River colony at the time. Is almost like and they were built the piece on piece style. And it says, but like many Canadian log homes, was later covered over with siding to protect, the boards.
Yeah.
And it was a humble little home. He married in 1881 to Marguerite, and she stayed in the house with his 2 children, Jean-Louis and Angelique, after he was buried. But then it says she died inside within months, actually. Oh, that's so sad. Yes. So here it does say that his daughter Angelique died of diphtheria.
Shit.
And Jean-Louis in a buggy accident in his 20s.
Oh, shit.
That's sad.
So they all died.
Aww.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
So there were no descendants. So it could be anybody. Anybody could have returned back. Energy is energy.
When did the girl pass? Did it
she
say?
passed when she was 14.
14.
But they didn't say how old she was when her dad passed.
No, just curious because shit would have been quite young then.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the haunted Louis Riel house or Riel house on River Road in Winnipeg.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Like anything old,
Oh, shit.
you know,
I love the old buildings in Winnipeg.
carry
They're
the
so cool.
energy and
Yep.
yeah. I'll drive through some old neighborhoods and I'll go, that's haunted.
I know. You're like,
That's
creepy,
haunted.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. creepy.
That's haunted
Yeah.
AF,
Yeah.
like,
No, I
yeah.
don't want to visit there. Thank you very much. I know.
No, exactly.
Isn't that weird, eh?
But you see, hopefully once things lift, once this whole pandemic lifts and
In 20 years or so.
oh yeah, but we'll get back on track and maybe this summer or something we can go for tours again
We can
and
tour.
check things
we
out.
just don't have to visit with people. That's all.
No. We
That's
can
right.
we can do that. I
Yeah.
just carry the microphone,
That's right.
pick up vibes.
Hey.
A 1-foot microphone. That's not suspicious at all. Whoa,
Oh,
kitty
well.
wipeout.
Okay. She'll on our feet anyway.
It's okay. Anyway. All right. So
shit.
yeah, so that was
Interesting.
this is a real live haunted house.
A real live haunted house.
But it's dead.
But it's dead, but it's haunted. So it's live dead.
Something like that there.
Creepy.
So
Interesting.
anyway, we got a couple more episodes to record
Yes, that was wonderful. Interesting.
for your
Thank
entertainment
you.
or our
Hey,
entertainment.
If you have, if you have
If-
stories about any kind of historical houses, I would like to know.
Yes, definitely. And you know what? We're still doing history deep dive searches. If you've got something a little wonky that you think you have an invisible renter that's not paying their share.
That's right.
Or washing the dishes.
Or mopping the goddamn floor.
Slacker.
Slackers. No, really.
No.
It's interesting.
Yeah, we'd want to know about it. Share your stories with us, and we can even do a deep dive.
We can do a goggle. We can goggle it up for you.
We'll do our bestest to do a deep dive search.
Yeah, see what's going on.
And let us know. Reach out. Get a hold of us.
Reach out.
Touch us. On Facebook, Twitter, everywhere.
Everywhere that you can think
everywhere.
of.
We
have been there.
And done that. And done it again.
Maybe twice.
Maybe twice. I don't learn the first time.
No, I know. We
Never.
must test again.
Yeah.
But
so, yeah, no, for sure. And
email us
at Givinguptheghostpodcast at gmail.com. Oh, it's Saturday night, and Saturday night's all right for podcasting. So there you go. Saturday. SATURDAY. Night. No, that's not why. That's YMCA.
I was trying to do all
She's
the
landing
alphabets.
a plane. She's landing a plane.
SAT.
You'll pull a muscle, man.
I know. Finger on my shoulder.
Oh, that's going to hurt. I'm going to feel that tomorrow. What were you doing? I was podcasting again. Anyway.
No, it was
fun. Thank you for the ghost love. And remember, as always, to live every day like it is your last.
But never give up the ghost.
Never give up the ghost. Ciao, ciao. For now.
I like making you laugh.